I'm Emily Galgaski with Women 2.0's In Conversation series, here with Elisa Camahort Page from BlogHer, which aims to create opportunities for women who blog to pursue exposure, education, community, and economic empowerment.
BlogHer is really a community that's an umbrella over several different things that we do. It all started in 2005 with my two partners, Lisa Stone and Joy Desjardins. We decided to put on a conference by and about women bloggers. And this was in response to some notion that where are the women bloggers, why aren't women blogging, when in fact they were blogging in great numbers. And we just felt like there needed to be a central place they could come together and meet one another. And then we launched BlogHer.com to be a central place where women bloggers could list their blogs and find each other every day online. And then finally, that economic empowerment part of our mission, we are living up to that by launching a publishing syndicate where bloggers join, they are affiliated with us, and we sell their advertising and promote their content. And so that's really all under the umbrella of the BlogHer community. And we just think it's really important when women make up the majority of internet users, the majority of bloggers, the majority of voters, the vast majority of people who spend money and make purchasing decisions in this country and really worldwide, that their voices be heard over all sorts of topics. And we also thought it was really important to recognize that women can be interested in lots of topics. They don't want their interests put into pink and purple silos. They can be interested in parenting one minute and politics the next. And that's why we really try to serve across 25 to 30 different topics and subjects and let people be interested and talk about all of those things. I was a corporate gal. I was going up that ladder. I really wanted to become an executive in the corporate environment. And it's when I started blogging, I got bit a little bit by the entrepreneurial bug. And I think it happened, when I lived through the first Silicon Valley boom and then the bust. And I think when you go to Silicon Valley now, nobody's got just one iron in the fire. Nobody is just doing one thing. Nobody just has their corporate job, even if they have a corporate job. They're all thinking about what else they can do. They really now consider themselves to be a brand and themselves to be their boss, and they are doing a bunch of different things with that. And so I got bit by that a little bit too. And I really got inspired by women and what they're writing about and the quality and the quantity, but mostly the quality. And I just wanted to be a part of that community and then try to help bring visibility to that community. I have a rather checkered career portfolio. I've done a lot of different things, and I don't consider any of them mistakes. I learned something everywhere I went. I tried the next new thing. I took the risk. I don't find myself identified by what I do, so I do a lot of different things. And so from that perspective, I don't feel like I made big mistakes in my career path. Because I was willing to jump in, and that's the main thing I would encourage everyone to do. Take the risk. Really ask, instead of just letting this fear kind of guide you, ask yourself, well, really, what is the worst thing that could happen? I mean, the worst thing that could happen to me, even before I got married, was that I'd have to sell my house, move in with my mom, who lives in the area, and be a slacker at my mom's house or something. And really, that's not that bad. I wouldn't want to do it at the age of 44, which I am, but that was really the worst that could happen if my entrepreneurship failed. So ask yourself, really, what's the worst? There are lots of little things, like I'm a big believer that actions speak louder than words, so I'm really good at giving constructive criticism. I'm really good at backing up my team and going to fight for them, but sometimes I don't take the time to actually verbally say the good stuff. I think I'm acting by having their back, by taking their position, by going and fighting the fight. But so sometimes I need to be more sensitive in that way, that words are also important. And that is another thing that I think I've sort of learned as I've gone through the path of my career. Well, the first one that comes to mind is Katarina Fake. She was the co-founder of Flickr. She really, I believe, her work is the community. She called herself sometimes a community hostess, really acting like the hostess at the party. That's what really made Flickr stand out and succeed, was making everyone feel a part of it, and that's so much what we want to do at BlogHer. And we really, in the past, have turned to Katarina for just a little bit of advice and insight. So she leaps to my mind as someone that I really do respect a lot. I also really am fond of and respect Charlene Lee, who was with Forrester and you know, an analyst, but she's struck out on her own now. She's going to do her own thing. She is so interested in balancing her life and integrating everything about her life, which is part of why she struck out on her own. And I think that these are women who are really interested in their whole life and bringing that to the party. And I think that's what makes women excellent leaders, is when they can honor their whole life. Well, the willingness to take a risk, to just try, to see what happens, and to live with the consequences. I think that's the #1 thing. I've tried I've been in like 4 different industries and done okay in all of them, and just kept moving on. So I think that's a big one, and the willingness to ask questions, because when I first came into high tech, during the Silicon Valley boom, I actually had no technology background, and I was eager to learn, was willing to admit I was a student, and then even as I went up in the ranks, and finally my last corporate position was as Senior Director of Product Management at a cable telecommunications company, I didn't mind asking the engineers questions. There's nothing, it's a cliche, but it's true. There's no stupid questions. What's stupid is the ones you don't ask and then act as though you knew. So I think that's also, it's really believing in yourself that you can admit where you don't know, and you can try things. And having that confidence, which has nothing to do with introversion or extroversion. It has nothing to do with whether you think you're beautiful or talented or smart in any kind of conventional way. You don't need any of that to be confident in how you behave in a work environment, and to take risks and ask questions.